What's up, everybody? It's SoCal Rider B. Now, if y'all know me, y'all know I love motorcycles, and I love them so much that today I decided to talk about my beautiful Yamaha R7. What I really want to talk about is why this bike matters. I also want to know, is this just a MT-07 with a beautiful makeover, or is there actually some substance and power behind this R7? Last but not least, I also want to address why are people comparing the R6 to the R7, and if we are going to make that comparison, is the R6 better or is the R7 better? And I'll give you my opinion on that. Before I tell you why I truly believe the R7 is a better motorcycle to buy than the R6, I just want to take some time to admire how beautiful this R7 is. This 60th World Grand Prix Yamaha R7 truly is a work of art. From the commemorative badging to the beautiful heritage white and red line chain block livery, it really sets this bike apart from what we're used to seeing at Yamaha. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but this white isn't matte, nor is it just a superficial gloss. It actually has metallic flakes, and I think this subtle detail really adds to the level of awe this bike produces. Also, if this bike was a person and it wore jewelry, it'd be very easy to guess how much this bike loves gold. Gold forks, gold wheels, even a Yamaha gold badge. This gold does not come across as gaudy, but it actually adds to the feeling that this bike's design is truly extraordinary. Now, before I get into the 3 reasons why this R7 is actually better than the R6 and why it should be the bike that you should get, and why they shouldn't even be compared in the first place, I want to get into the reasons as to why this was actually a brilliant move for Yamaha to do. First of all, if you're coming from an R3 and you wanted to stay in the Yamaha ecosystem, what do you have as a choice? You got an R1 or an R6. Now, going from an R3 to an R6 is going to be a massive jump in power, price, and performance. The R7 fills that gap, not only from a performance standpoint, but what takes me into number 2, from a price standpoint. The second reason that this was a brilliant business move is if you wanted to get something that was in the 600 range or above that didn't break the bank, instead of going to Kawasaki or Honda, this R7 keeps the person inside of the Yamaha brand. Yo, number 3, this Yamaha R7 is paving the way for the R9. And if you're somebody who hates leader bikes, but you want to have something higher than 700 cc's, the R9 could be the perfect bike for you. The R7 was never meant to be compared to the R6, but since it is, let me tell you why I think the R7 is a better bike for most people than the R6. First, the R7 isn't slow when it's compared to the R6. In fact, depending on how you rate speed, the R7 is actually a faster bike on the street. Plus, most of us are not doing track days 4 times a month. So the question is, how much speed do you really need? And honestly, let's look at these bikes on paper and see how they stack up. First, the R6 is estimated to do 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds, while the R7 is estimated to do that same speed in 3.27 seconds. How much is that extra 1.7 seconds worth? On top of that, the R6 is producing 43 foot-pounds of torque at 11,000 RPM, but the R7 is producing 48 foot-pounds torque at a more approachable 6,000 RPMs. Also, the gearing on the R7 actually produces more speed than the R6 at the 5,000 RPM range in every single gear. 2. The price of the R7 and what you get for the money will make the R7 a better buy than the R6 for most people. Let me tell you why I say that. If you take the price of a new R6 when it was available for purchase, it was about $12,200 before license, registration, dealer markup, and all the other scams they put in there just to rob us. Now, compare that to a new R7. That's only $9 grand before markups and all the other schemes. So you're looking at a $3,200 savings, and you're not really missing out on much. Instead of the 4 cylinders on the R6 and a more advanced electronics package, you're really not missing out on much. And that savings can easily be used for other things like better gear, a trip with your friends, or even aftermarket parts like a slip-on exhaust, a tail tidy with thousands to left over for spare money. That's if you opt for a slip-on and not a full racing exhaust. But you could get a full racing exhaust and still have money left over with the $3,200 savings. Number 3, the third reason the R7 is better than the R6. based upon the research I did, the R7 is producing twice the torque of the R6 between the 3,000 to 4,000 RPM range. This should allow for better gas mileage without sacrificing real-world street performance. But I will be fair, once the R6 hits 9,000 RPM, it just dominates the R7. But on the street, I'm happier to have instant torque with great gas mileage. It's just more practical and better suited to how most of us are going to actually use a super sport bike.